Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be kind of talking about the lessons learned after using my 2023 Hobonichi cousin and my Hobonichi weeks, and kind of talk about what changes I'm making after using my Hobonichi products going into 2024, and if I'm going to be staying with the Hobonichi cousin and the Hobonichi weeks. So if you'd be interested to see kind of what I've learned after using Hobonichi products in 2023, what I'm going to be doing in 2024, and kind of some of the thoughts and concerns and issues I have and how I am alleviating those, then go ahead and keep watching. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go through what I have here, what I bought for 2023 as my planner, journals, all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, I have two Hobonichi weeks. I have the regular Hobonichi weeks, and then I have the Mega. So you can see the Mega has more pages in it. It has more note pages, but other than that, it's essentially the exact same planner. And then I have my Hobonichi cousin that I have been using as my all-in-one planner. So this I use for my year at a glance, like habit tracking. I use it for weather tracking. I use it for my daily or weekly tracking, like my plan or my appointments, my meetings, my work, all that kind of stuff. I use the vertical weeks to track that, and then I use the dailies for my journal. So this is kind of a all-in-one planner that I use literally every day, multiple times a day. So we have the cousin, and then we also have the weeks, which is my, basically mirrors what I have in my cousin. It's just my all-in-one, like on the go planner. So I have the same information that's in here and my cousin is in my weeks, just because this is a lot more convenient to throw in my bag. So I have it whenever I do run errands or go on appointments or whatnot. And then we have my Mega weeks, and this was my work planner and for like work notes. I thought this would be a good thing to throw in my laptop bag whenever I had to go into the office, or just to carry with me for any work related activities. So this is what I'm using in 2023. Now what I'm going to be doing in 2024 is slightly different. For all-in-one planner, my cousin, I am getting another Hobonichi cousin. However, instead of a all-in-one, like a yearly cousin, I'm going to be moving to the Avec, which is a 6-month version. My weeks, I am not getting again. So this I am not going to purchase this coming year. The Mega weeks, I'm again not going to be purchasing this going into 2024. However, I am going to be buying two different planners from Sterling Ink, and that is the Common Planner Standard, which is essentially the same as the Hobonichi weeks. And then I'm also going to be purchasing the Common Planner Traveler's Notebook Standard, and I think it's about this big. I think I've never seen it, but I'm going to be using that for like my content planning. I have this channel, and then I also have a reading channel, which I'll link somewhere on the screen. So I'm using the standard Traveler's Notebook planner from Sterling Ink to use as a content planner. So that is what I'm going to be doing for 2024. Now, given those changes, let me kind of talk through why I've decided to make them. So going to my cousin. So I am moving from a full year planner in the cousin to a 6-month planner. So I would have one planner from January to June and then one from July to December. The reason why I'm doing that is because it is in the middle of August right now, and this has gotten fairly heavy and fairly chunky. So it's getting to the point where I'm 4 months still away from finishing this planner, and it's very, I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but it's getting to the point where if I'm in my daily pages trying to write, there's more of a like ridge, especially on this side because this is where the bulk is, but it's more difficult and more not annoying, but it's just getting to the point where I'm not enjoying the bulk here for when I'm having to write. So there's that, and I have seen, and I just can't make myself do it. I've seen other videos where people have like folded or like kind of manipulated their cousin to where they're able to write better when it is, you know, kind of bulky on one side versus the other. I just don't know if I can do that. So that is one of the reasons why I'm getting kind of annoyed with having to have a full year cousin with the bulkiness. One of the other bigger reasons of me going to a 6-month version is I just honestly like setting up planners, and being able to set up a planner in January and then another setup in July or the end of June, it just sounds so appealing. And not only just for setting it up, but for instance, in January of this year, for my like year at a glance, I was using this 100% as a habit tracker. And in January, I started to, instead of like doing check marks like I'm doing now, I use like my fountain pen and just kind of filled in the days that, or the habits that I did for that day. And I hated the way that looked. So then after about a week and a half, or just over a week of me doing this, I changed to like a different, like a zig dot marker, but it was not a true, it's an Amazon zig dot marker, but regardless, I started doing a different thing and doing the dots to fill in the habits, but the pen that I was using had like a metallic sheen to it, and I just did not like the way it looked, and I hated it. I've hated it since January. And so I have put this paper over it to hide the annoying January layout that I had. And so just the idea of knowing that in July, if I had that same situation, I would have a brand new page or a brand new planner, and I would never have to see it again. So it's just so appealing. And I think just having the ability to start fresh in a planner in July, it's very appealing to me. So those are the two main reasons that I decided to go to the Avec versus the full year cousin. Other than that, I love the cousin. I don't have very many complaints. I do have some, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do have, for the most part, really enjoyed the cousin, and I will be going back to it in 2024. My Hobonichi Weeks that mirrors the cousin and is kind of like my on-the-go planner, I am not buying the Hobonichi version. Instead, I am going to be purchasing the Common Planner Passport, I think is what they're calling it. But essentially, it's the same thing as the Hobonichi Weeks, but from what I can tell through the pictures is that for like the Hobonichi Weeks, this page is the blank page is grid. In the Hobonichi, the page that has all of the day numbers on it is not grid. It's actually a clear or a blank page, and you get, if when it's laying flat, you can kind of see the grid from the ghosting on the other side, but it's not actually gridded. And I hate that because I need grids. I will either, without it, I will write too big, too small, I will write crooked, and I don't like that. So in the Common Planner Passport, it looks like this page is grid just like this page. And that is 100% literally the only reason I am changing over to the Common Planner, is because this page is gridded, so I can feel more confident that I am writing straight and consistent versus the Hobonichi version where this page is blank. That is the only reason I'm changing from Hobonichi Weeks to Common Planner Passport. Now, the Mega Weeks, I am not getting another replacement for. I'm not purchasing this again in 24, and I'm also not getting another substitute for this planner. I only use this planner for maybe, I can't really show you on camera, but I use this until like January 29th. The week of January 23rd through the 29th was when I stopped using it. So I only use this for literally only the 1 month in 2023. And what I found originally, so let me talk to you through my purpose of this. So I thought I would be able to easily write, let me get to a page. I would be able to write down here all of my meetings, kind of like my to-do list. So my thought was I would split this in half, have the meetings listed here on like the left-hand side, and then my to-do list on the right-hand side. And then this page would be for any like staff notes, team notes, program notes, any kind of meetings that I took, I would be able to use it on this page. And then if I ran out of space, I could at the very bottom say continued on page, whatever page, and the rest of my notes would be in the back. That was my thought, and it worked until it didn't. And the beginning of January, everyone was coming back from vacation. There really wasn't a lot going on. So the first couple of weeks, it was very quick. Like, I used a full page of notes, sometimes not even a full page, and that worked. But then once it got to the second and third week of January, when things started kind of going back to the status quo, I ended up having to do a lot of flipping back and forth, and I didn't like that idea. So I quickly decided this was not for me. This has kind of been my testing thing. So like, if I need to, like, I was thinking about trying to do stencils for one of my plan with me's. This was watercolor and like writing on the watercolor after it dried. So I use all of I'm using this primarily as a test for the Tomoe River paper and like how I can use it. So this I'm not doing again because I figured out this does not work. I just use a regular notebook and that's what I use for work. So this I'm not doing again. It just was not it. I will from now on use this as just a junk notebook, and yeah, so it just didn't work. I tried, but it didn't make the cut. And then the last one that I'm going to be using in 2024, like I said, was the Common Planner Standard, and that's for my content planning. And that was primarily because I wanted to have a small little planner that I can jot down content notes, kind of block off times that I think I'm going to be doing the different videos, because like I said, I have 2 channels, and so without it, I have kind of, between work, my personal appointments, my 2 channels, I've not found a good consistent way of really blocking time to list all of my activities that I'm going to do for my content. So I thought a small little planner that I can use just for my content. That way I can, if an idea pops up, I can write that down really quickly and kind of plan what videos are going to go where. I currently use Notion, which is doing pretty much the exact same thing, but I am more of a paper person. I like digital content, like I like digital planning, but it's just not for me. And so I want something that I can write, I can visually see and update and erase and do all that kind of stuff. So that's what that new planner is going to be. I have not gotten the Common Planner. I had to pre-order them, and now I'm just waiting for them to come in, so I can't show you what they're going to look like. And then the last thing that I am going to be doing in 2024 that I have not talked about is I am going to be purchasing a blank Hobonichi notebook. And the reason why I want that is I want a blank notebook so I have one place for pen swatches and Tombow swatches and mild liner swatches and super tip swatches and zig dot marker swatches and fountain pen swatches, because right now it's in my 2023 planner, and once it goes to 2024, I don't want to have to keep flipping to an old planner to look at my swatches. And I also don't want to have, if I'm going to the Avec in 2024, I don't want to swatch all of my stuff in the January Avec and then have to re-swatch all over again in July. So I thought having just a blank notebook, that way regardless of what planner I'm using and what year it is, because if it's in a separate notebook, I can use that same notebook in 2023, in 2024, in 2025, and so on. And I don't have to worry about flipping to an older planner or recreating the same thing multiple times. So I will be purchasing a blank Hobonichi notebook with the Tomoe River paper in my next purchase for 2024 planners. Now that I've kind of talked about what I did in 2023 and then what I'm planning on doing in 2024, I kind of want to talk about my overall thoughts on my Hobonichi for my cousin and the weeks. Kind of talk about the bad things or the things that I don't like about the Hobonichi, and then some of the things that I do like about the Hobonichi. And the good do outweigh the bad, because obviously I'm coming back to the Hobonichi cousin, so if it was more bad than good, I would obviously not be doing that. So we're going to start with the things that I don't like about the Hobonichi. And I only have 2 really issues that I have. The first issue I have is I had to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what pens work on this paper, because with the Tomoe River paper, this paper does not allow the pen ink to soak into the paper. The ink sits on top of the paper. And basically what that means is if you have a gel pen and if you have any other paper, any notebook paper, any other normal paper, when you write with your gel ink, the ink itself will be absorbed into the paper. So after you write and you run your hand across it, the majority of the time it will not smear because that ink has soaked into the paper. With the Tomoe River paper, that does not happen. The ink sits on top of the paper. So it's amazing for fountain ink and things like that because because it doesn't soak into the paper, you really get to see like the sheen and the shine and all of the things that fountain ink does. And it also allows you to use watercolor and things like that because it's not soaking into the paper. It's sitting on top and you have to wait for it to dry. The problem that I have is before 2023, I used regular paper. So I had a ton of gel ink. I have an entire Tupperware container, huge Tupperware container full of pens that are all pointless on this paper because they smear. Even if I let them dry, I don't know if my fingers or my hands are just more oily or I don't know what it is, but even after I use a gel pen and I let it dry, just my natural like turning the pages it'll smear. Like just me taking this page and turning it, the ink would be smeared. So while this paper is amazing for fountain pens and for watercolor and things that you typically can't use on regular paper, the opposite can be said for the Tomoe River. You cannot use all of the pens that you previously used because they're gonna smear like crazy. So of my entire huge Tupperware container of pens, I only have like 3 different brands or kinds that will work because I don't have ballpoint pens. Like I have gel ink. Like that's literally the only pen that I would end up buying. And so none of them worked. I found pens that I love that I am using on this paper and I have not had a problem. But that means like 98% of my pens that I have, I don't use and they just sit there and I only use them every once in a while for work. So it's very wasteful with the amount of pens that I have to have this planner, but I love this planner so much that I can handle not using those pens because it's such a good planner. I just love it so much. That is the biggest downfall. And if you've seen any of my videos, specifically at the beginning of the year when I was first starting out in the Hobonichi, I complained about the pens and the paper smearing or the ink smearing on the paper so many times in my plan with me's, in my monthly wrap up and things like that I'm sure people have heard this before, but that is my number one and literally probably the only issue that I have with this Hobonichi product is the pens. And then the only other kind of issue that I have, but I'm able to fix this going into 2024, I think. And the issue that I have is the bulkiness of the Cousin when you have a full year planner. So this is, it's the middle of August and I still have like this much left in my daily planner to go. And it's very bulky and it's heavy and I can't just pick this up and take it into work along with my laptop and my work notebook and all of the stuff that I have to take. This is just too bulky for me, which is 100% the reason why I do have this, is so that way I can throw this in my notebook or my book bag whenever I go anyplace, because this is just too inconvenient to take on the go, in my personal opinion. It's too heavy, it's too bulky, and it's just too hard to kind of bring this around with you. So the bulkiness is something that I do not like, but like I said, moving to the Avec, I should not have that problem going forward into 2024. And now we're gonna move to what I like about Hobonichi products. And probably the number one thing with Hobonichi is, my number one product is the Cousin. Like I love the Cousin so much. And it's because it's an all-in-one. Like I have a year at a glance. So I can see an entire year. I can use this as habit tracker for birthdays, anniversaries, indexing what's going on in my daily pages. You have an entire year on here. You have a month, so you have the monthly plans. You have weekly, And then you also have dailies. So you have so much. This does so much. And I love that concept. I love having a daily journal in my planner because I'm able to journal every day. I have in 2023, I have journaled in my planner I have not missed one day. Every single day I have done some journal entry, and I have never in my entire life been able to consistently journal. It's always been, I'll do a journal entry maybe 2 or 3 times during the week, and then I won't do something for 3 weeks, and I'll come back and do like 1 or 2 journal entries, and then I won't touch it again for another week and a half. And so it was very on and off. Like I was kind of riding the wave of I need a journal, and then I don't want to journal, and then I need a journal, and then I don't want to journal. So it was all over the place, and having a journal built in to my planner that I keep open every single day, it's amazing. I love it. I'm able to use my journal to kind of remember what's happened in the past. I can do pictures. It's a good mental decompression, but also a way to kind of remember what happened each day through pictures or whatever I'm doing, stickers, whatever during that day. I absolutely love it. I cannot rave enough about the Hobonichi Cousin. So I love that. I also love, which some people don't appreciate this, I think, but I like, and I'm trying to get to a blank page. Here we go. So I actually like having my my vertical weekly to be 24 hours each day, and it's broken up in 30-minute increments. So while some people might think that's very wasteful because obviously you're not going to be awake for 24 hours, and if you are, please don't. That just doesn't seem very smart. But some people don't like that because it's wasteful. They're not going to, you're not actually going to be planning for a full 24 hours. But I like having the capability of, maybe I'm in a third shift job. I have a good, I can track what I'm doing in third shift. It's not like blocked off for only 8 to 10 or 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. and then you're screwed for the rest of the time frame. Like I like being able to see the full 24 hours. It's just something I enjoy. And then the other thing that I do really like about the Hobonichi products with the Tomoe River paper is it is very thin, and I like the sound to it. And the sound, the texture, I don't know. It's very nice paper. I have never had Tomoe River paper before getting the 2023 Hobonichi, and it's a very nice paper. I really enjoy it. So those are my 3 big positives that I have of the Hobonichi, specifically for the Cousin. Everything that kind of falls in the Cousin is pretty much the same thing for the Week product, but the Cousin is kind of this is my ride or die. This is number 1 right here. Number 1. So the last thing I want to talk about is kind of my next steps. So today, like I said, is the middle of August. The Hobonichi website, it officially opens to see like their full product lineup for 2024 on the 25th of August. And then you can purchase from the Hobonichi website on the 1st of September. They've been doing kind of every day, they've been releasing different things kind of as sneak peeks on what's coming in 2024. And there are 3 things that I'm very excited about. The first thing is, and I'll put it on the screen, it's the Opanchu Yusaki cover. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the yellow. I don't know if it's the it looks like a Trapper Keeper to me. I don't know if you are watching and you know what I'm talking about. If you're from like the 80s, the Trapper Keeper was like, that's what I had in middle school and elementary school, and I loved my Trapper Keeper. But it just reminds me of the Trapper Keeper, and it looks so cool to me, but I'm very excited about that. And then this year in 2024, if you buy from the Hobonichi and if you buy one of their planners, you will get 2 free items. This year, they have what they're calling the Everlasting Bag, and there's 4 different versions of this bag, and I like them all, but the rice ball, like the blue bag, it's not my favorite. Knowing me, that's the one I'm gonna get, but I do like that bag. I like totes You know, they're just so handy. So I do like that the free bag that you're going to get when you buy from the Hobonichi. And then the last thing that I really like, the other free item is every year Hobonichi will give out a Uni Jetstream pen. It's a ballpoint pen, and it's kind of like their recommended pen for using in their Hobonichi products. And this year in 2024, it's a gray green color, I think. I'll put it up on the screen, but it's beautiful and it just looks it's so up my alley, and I cannot wait to use it. I can foresee me using that pen a lot. Like I said earlier, I primarily only use gel pens, but I can see me wanting to use that. It's a beautiful pen. I'm really hoping it writes really well. But those are the three things that I'm looking forward to that cover the everlasting bag and then the free Uni Jetstream. I'm so looking forward to that so far from what I'm seeing on the Hobonichi site. Now, I'm also very curious on how I'm going to like the structure of the Common Planner, because I've never had, I did not buy the 2023 Common Planner, obviously, because you can see all the planners that I bought for 2023. I've never seen their Common Planner, and so I'm very curious to see if I'm going to enjoy the Common Planner week version, and if I'm going to enjoy the content, the Traveler's Notebook standard size for my content planning. So I don't know much about that planner, and I'm very curious to see if I'm going to like it. So that's as soon as I get it, I'm going to be doing a review, but I'm curious about that. The other thing that I'm kind of concerned / curious about going into 2024 is the paper in the Hobonichi is switching, and I think that it's already switched, maybe. I don't remember. I know that there's a part of the planners in Hobonichi have already switched, and some of them have not. I don't remember which, but the Cousin, and I'm sure I'm going to get comments, so if you know, go ahead and drop it down below. But in the Cousin, I know right now in the 2023, they're using the standard Tomoe River paper, and then in 2024, it's switching to the Sanzen Tomoe River paper, so it's a different, slightly maybe different paper, but I'm curious to see how it's going to react to the pens that I've been using, if there's going to be any kind of issues or concerns or things that aren't going to work that are going to work, or maybe it's just there's no change and it's the same paper and nothing major is going to happen. So I don't know. I'm curious about the paper. And then I'm still unsure on how I'm going to be using my Cousin and my new weeks version going into 2024, how I'm going to set it up and what I'm going to be using different parts of my planner, if I'm going to change it up or not. I'm not sure. I do plan on doing a video on unboxing my Hobonichi when it comes. I'm going to do a video on unboxing my common planners and my thoughts and things like that. And then I'm going to be doing another video coming up on kind of my initial thoughts on all the different spreads and how I'm going to be using it and what changes I'm going to be making from my spreads compared to what I'm doing right now in 2023. So I have a lot of things coming up that I'm going to be kind of discussing in later videos. It's kind of hard to know what spreads and how I'm going to be using them if I don't have the planners in front of me. So I will be doing another video, several videos in the next, month or two once all the planners come in. So like I said, I know what planners I'm going to be using, which is what I just talked about, but how I'm using them and kind of the spreads that I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be using the, monthly for on the weeks, and then how I'm going to be using the weeks going into 2024, I'm still unsure. Hopefully by the time they come in, I'll have more of an idea, but we will see. So I feel like I've been rambling a lot. I've been talking for 35 minutes and I'm kind of tired now. So that's all that I have. I want to thank everybody who has watched. If you have made it this far, go ahead and drop down below a book or a planner emoji, just so I can know who all made it to the end. I greatly appreciate it if you did. And then also draw me down below, what planner are you using going to 2024? Are you using the Hobonichi Cousin? Are you using the Common Planner? Are you using one of a disc bound planner? Are you using the I can't even remember what her name is, the other planner that was really popular? I can't remember, but anyways, so go ahead and just drop down below in the comment section what planner you're going to be looking at buying or that you have already bought for 2024, because I'm really curious to see what everybody's going to be using for this coming year. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.